Great day, recruiting world. I'm back again. This is Coach Clark with R.A.R.E Podcast, Real Authentic Recruiting Experiences. Yesterday, I was able to get some great feedback on the podcast I did in regards to had a couple segments on what to do during the shutdown, as far as recruiting, parents, um, the things that you should be doing, managing helping your kid get recruited, and a couple ideas for high school coaches as well. That is actually up on YouTube under Rare Podcast, episode 1. My YouTube subscription is under Coach Clark. And you can just type in R.A.R.E podcast and it should come up. Today, I got some another great questions. Parents, a couple of players, a couple of coaches, and trainers. And that's what we'll be speaking about today. We're gonna go ahead and get right into it. Segment 1, trainers. This is a big discussion in the community, between trainers, between parents, between high school coaches. Hopefully, when we get done with the shutdown, hope everybody's doing well as well on the shutdown. Have a panel and include the trainers because we want to bridge the gap. Trainers, this is all about you. I just really want to get to the point on it's called budgeting. Parents, you have to be able to budget the trainer's cost in, and trainers, we got to make it affordable. Now, I want to go ahead and get this clear that I'm not trying to tell anybody what they should charge. I can't tell anybody what they think their training is worth, but we're just giving ideas and views. I'm giving you the views, trainers from the parents and players perspective. Well, from the parents because they're paying, and parents, I'm giving you the perspective from the trainer. Trainers, one thing that we have to know, and no matter what state you live in, what county, some people think your county is richer than other counties. That's not the way, trainers. People living on a budget. Yes, you do have your percentage that they have an income. Somebody's making 6 figures, or two parents making 6 figures in their household, and they probably could afford $300, $400 a month for training, or $50 a session. But for the majority, we're talking about the majority, they have to budget. I think parents, you have to go speak with the trainer that you like or that you heard. Maybe some of your kids' teammates go to this particular place and train. Sit down with the trainer and talk with them. Come up with a price. And maybe that trainer is willing to work with you and say, hey, I charge $200 a month for 3 sessions a week. But you might say, well, I can afford $150. Well, if they give you that opportunity, make sure you paying your $150. You can't be late. You can't be saying I don't have it that this month because they gave you a special. And vice versa. Trainers, sit down with your parents. I hear a lot of trainers say, man, these kids got Jordans. They buy this, buy that. It doesn't really be like that. These kids go school shopping at the beginning of the year, might get a pair of Jordans or whatever, some Air Max. Then they get some for Christmas. But it's a budget. People sacrifice. But they're not just going out buying 300 pair of Jordans every month. Yeah, you have a few kids that are kind of special. Their parents have it. But for the majority, just like you don't want people counting your money, you can't really count the money. Let's just come up with a plan and a budget. Some trainers are expensive. Some are cheap. And as the old saying go, you get what you pay for. So let's just have more of a communication and a dialogue. Parents, go up to the training facilities, go to your high school head coach and ask who they recommend. They might have a source that they like, and also your high school coach will be able to speak with that trainer and say, hey, this is my player. This is what I need him to work on. This is what I need him to get better at. Because you don't just want to go to a gym and they're running around cones all day, every day. You want to see if there's some type of weight room or strength. I'll just say strength development plus um, your position Pacific training. That's real key. Those two things. Um, it's plenty of videos out here on YouTube. Parents, if you can't afford it, um, go on YouTube, look up colleges. You got all over the place. College drills online. Buy you some cones. Take your kid to the nearest park, and they can reciprocate the videos that they seen, the college videos, not just some online stuff, but pretty much go to the colleges one. If you go to the top colleges, I don't have to name any universities, but just any universities that you see, if they're doing college drills, so when you go to those camps, you're able to do the same drills, and it'll help you. Talk with your high school coach to see if he can get you some extra time after school if you can't afford it. But I think we just want to bridge the gap between the trainers and the parents and the trainers and the coaches. I think some high school coaches, let's go speak to some of these trainers that you like, or go evaluate and say, hey, how could you come help my team as a whole? Now we can get a bigger discount because we have volume. So let's bridge the gap on that. I think it's a good idea because, again, I'm not making this stuff up. I'm thinking about what the colleges do. No college coach, assistant coach, position coach is in there training their kid. They do drills with them and coach them, but they have a strength and conditioning coach that does that. So high school coaches, let's get with the parents, because parents, you have to pay for this. Let's get with the trainer and say, hey, to this particular trainer, do you have a staff that you could bring to our high school 2 or 3 days a week, train our guys? How much would you charge each kid individually per month, based on a minimum requirement? And then the parents just pay that money. So let's just say, for instance, you got 100 kids on your team, and you can split the groups up, and they come 3 days, 2 or 3 days a week, and each kid pay $50 or $75 a month. To go in the pot, and then these guys are coming to train your kids. Hey, you just cut yourself a bargain. I don't know how many trainers wouldn't possibly give that a consideration. So we just got to do more sit downs, more communication on ideas, and come up with solutions as far as with the trainers. Trainers, go visit the college campuses. Go talk to your strength coaches, position coaches. Take your ego out of it, and that you think of every drill. Nobody think it's a copycat league, like they say in the NFL. The West Coast offense, Bill Walsh created it decades ago, and they still running a form of it. Go get your drills, because if you can do these drills, now you're developing these kids that want to go to college. So work on your craft. Parents, again, be willing to pay, willing to sacrifice, budget. Just because if one trainer is too high, you might have to go to another one. He might be 10 minutes further away. He or she, the trainer, might be 10 minutes away further, but it's in your budget. So you got to make it happen. Sacrifice the kid, because if they can't get it all in the high school, because high school coaches are teachers, they're athletic directors, they're assistant principals. They have everyday life. They only have so much time. So let's get with them. Let's see what we can make happen. On to the next segment. Players, teammates, high school teammates. Everybody wants a scholarship. There's no secret. You only could go to one school, but y'all have to learn one thing. You got to train together. You got to ball together. Don't be selfish. If you know of a good trainer, tell the rest of the guys. If you know of a good supplement that you can use, tell the rest of the team. Motivate your guys. Let's work out as a team. Because one thing that I know that's 100% sure, if we all train together, get the muscles, the shoulders, triceps, biceps, get the physique, we get it right, we're going to be dominant as a team. If we're dominant as a team and we're winning, we're in the newspaper every week. We have recruiters coming. We have all the rivals, 24/7s, all the newspapers coming to us to do interviews. We're going to attract more college coaches. Now that leaves that job back, as I did episode 1, For the high school coaches to put the icing on the cake to speak good about his players. Everything is in place. Your grades, your test score. Now, the more and more colleges we have in, the more and more kids can get selected. Yes, everybody's not going to get picked to go to Power 5. Your SECs, your Big 12s, your Pac 10s, Pac 12, ACC, SEC. But if everybody's doing what they need to do, that Southern Conference, that Georgia Southern, Western Kentucky, MTSU, Central Florida, HBCUs all over the place, Howard, Hampton, Bethune-Cookman, UT Chat, Walford. I'm just naming schools, Furman. They're going to eventually come in the door as well, and that gives their coach the opportunity to say, hey, kid might not be going Power 5, but I think he can play on your level. Mike can go to a Valdosta State, D2. So if we ball together, just imagine this. Everybody played together at the park. We all played together. Then we get ready to go to high school, and everybody split up and disappear because they being selfish, all about me, all about me. No, that's not the way. Stick together, because ultimately you only could pick one school. Stick together. I promise you, if you was winning at the park, you're winning all these park championships, from 5-year-old all the way to 13, 14, or whatever, 8th grade. Then all of a sudden you go to high school and all y'all split up. Then what if you go to a small school because you being selfish, but y'all not playing the best talent? You got to go with that. If a college coach is saying, man, I don't know, he's good, but he's not really playing against any talent. I don't know. Stick with the talent. Don't be selfish. Now, I will say this. If it's your position and it's 10 people in your position, then yeah, you might have to, make the best decision for yourself, parents, and best decision for your child. But hey, no matter if you go to college, everybody going to have 3 people at that position. You just got to make it happen. And I promise you, if you got a team full of ballers, coaches will find a way to get you on the field. Because if he has 12 ballers on offense and you only can put 11 on the field, he's going to find a way for that that one to get on the field. Whether it's substitution, rotation, every play, every series, you will play. He's going to find you a way. So you just have to keep working, keep grinding, but y'all have to motivate each other. If the team is good, hear me out. If the team is good, you have a good opportunity to get everything, get the wave going, and all the college coaches coming in, because ultimately that's your goal. The last segment I'm gonna kind of speak on. I got a question about the business. Parent asked me about recruiting, and she keeps hearing that it's a business. It's a business. Yes, it is. I was talking to a college coach, and he gave me some light. He said, Coach, when the payrolls went up, salaries went up, the mentorship is limited. It became a bigger business. Because the example is, if a head coach is getting paid anywhere from $3 million to $8 million a year, his assistant coach or his coordinator is getting paid $1 million a year now, and these assistant coaches are getting good checks. They're getting $300,000, depending on how long. You got some assistant coaches getting $500,000, $600,000. Where do you think the pressure is going to be from the top to the assistant coach? Hey, we need to go after the top guys. We can't go after the guy that we know he has heart. We love him. He's related to such and such, but we got to go after this 5-star, this 4-star, this guy that everybody's fighting to go after. Because if with the more that we winning, this coach has a lot of pressure to win because he's getting paid millions and millions of dollars. And the athletic director, the boosters, they expect wins because they're giving out all this money. So now, what do you think that the coach is going to pick? If you had to spend your money and write a check for $250,000 for 100 kids that's on scholarship, you're going to be very, very selective on who you pick. So yes, parents, it's a business. I don't think college coaches don't want to mentor your kid. They do. It's just that it's such a business that Um, that's their selection process if you're in high school. People ask me about the transfers. Why do kids transfer so much? Kids been transferring. They just blowing it up now because of the transfer portal. But the same number was out there thinking about transferring. And I tell people, I had to tell a coach this. He said, "Well, coach, man, I don't know about a kid transferring. That mean he quit on his team." No, it doesn't. You don't really know that kid's situation. It doesn't mean he's soft. You just got to know his situation. I knew a kid that's transferring in a transfer portal as we speak. He was a highly recruited kid, but he's had four different coaches. Every year it's a different coach. He's graduating in May, and it's just always something different. He's been playing. One year he's starting. One year this coach come in with a different attitude, different way. I think he's had two different defensive coordinators, so everybody has their own defense or offense or how they run it and to fit a kid that they need. That's the kid that they're looking for. You might not be that kid that they would have recruited. So now you're maybe not getting as much playing time. So guess what? You got to go make a business decision. So I think the people out there in the world that's all been out of shape saying these kids are soft or they quitting. No, they're not. No different than the college coaches. They're getting jobs. They started working at a lower level school and then boom, they worked their way up and took another job. I mean, give an example. Kirby Smart was working at Valdosta State. Now he's the head coach at University of Georgia. Nick Saban he went from Michigan State to LSU, to the Miami Dolphins to Alabama. He made a great business decision for him and his family. So I think these kids have the right to as well. And I think the media and the people on the outside looking in don't kill the kids or kill the vibe because they're making the best decision for them. You know, it's not all peach and cream with these colleges. They are doing it a business because I've heard a lot of rumors and we're talking about facts. I'm not gonna even say rumors, I'm gonna say facts. That if these kids aren't playing by the time they're red shirt freshmen, hitting on special teams, they're just not, bringing nothing to the team. Some of his development, then hey, we don't have no use for him. It might feel real uncomfortable to him, and then he's gonna do what? Ask for a transfer. So because they got the next kid, they're trying to get in on the books. So it happens all the time. It's not a one-on-one book, but we'll have the college, former college players that's graduated and come on my show and give it from their point of view. I want you to hear it from the college players, not me. I'm just doing something right now, doing a shutdown to keep giving out information and knowledge. But just on that subject, like I said, the parent asked me about keep hearing it's a business, it's a business. It is a business. And at the end of the day, the college coaches are going to select these kids based on a best business decision that's going to make their program successful. So when I see all these stories on Twitter, I got heart, my kid got this, I definitely understand it. I sit on this side of the fence for the players, but at the end of the day, I understand it's a business, and they might like you, but if they're looking for a 6'2" linebacker and you're 6 foot, they might just go find another way, go JUCO. They might just say, you know what, we're not gonna get that position this year. We're gonna hold out for a transfer. So you got to know the numbers game. It's a numbers game, and now with the added signing day, the scholarships and the transfer portal. Because same time that college coaches say the kids are soft quitting, they're using that transfer portal to their advantage. And this is what I'm gonna give you this example. Typically, colleges sign 25 players. Um, just not too long ago, they would sign 20 high school kids and probably five, transfers or JUCO guys that's coming from different places. Now, I think it's going to go up and down every year. December, you're signing, um, you're mixing in your 10 high school kids and your junior college, Power 5 transfers, guys is grad transfers. And then in February, You're signing the last 10, your JUCOs. I mean, well, let me back up. December, you're signing your high school kids, your 10 guys that's high school all the way. In February, you might be signing your junior college, um, Power Five transfers. You're just mixing it up. So that's 10 and 10. And then you say that last five for this May graduation, because you don't know who's going to be a grad transfer, who's that JUCO kid that needs one more year, one more semester. You got to get his grades right, because they want to win right now. So they don't want to develop a high school kid. So they're splitting their scholarships up. So out of 25, you might be taking 10 high school guys, 10 Power Five transfers, which they'll split up, 5 Power 5 transfers, 5 junior college. And then in May, they'll have 5 left in their back pocket for any transfers. And if anybody needs an example, take for instance Chase Bryce at Clemson. He is graduating and going to Duke in May. Well, how did Duke have that scholarship? They had to save one of those out of the 25 to get him to be a grad transfer, because once you sign the 25, you're a big number. You can't get any more scholarships unless somebody on the team leaves or graduates. It could be different scenarios, but for the main part, that was a lot of responses I was getting from college coaches this fall. Man, we really like this kid, but our coach wants to go JUCO. He wants to go transfer. He's gonna look in the portal. We think we might get this guy. So that's really pushing back the high school kids, because when you took 20, now you're taking 10, and there's a million kids out here trying to get scholarships. So it's limited. And as the lower the tier division, the more they're going to wait. So if you're at a big school, you might take a few more high school kids. If you're at a mid-major, your Central Floridas, your Georgia States, MTSUs, mid-major schools, they're going to take less high school kids. And then your small schools, they're going to take more transfers. Your UT Chats, D Furmans, Bethune-Cookman, Savannah State. They looking for the guys that's leaving the Power 5 schools, going in the portal. Oh, that kid went to a big Power 5 school. We'll take all those transfers because they got experience. So if they have experience, then we can take them on our team. Now you're saying to yourself, my son, man, I know he could play. I know he could play at the D1 AA school. But it's not that he can't play. It's just that they don't have any room. So ultimately, at the end of the day, you have to understand it's a business. And with knowing this business, it goes back to making sure your grades are 3.0 or higher. Just tell your kids nothing less than a B. Manage it. You got to train. You got to get the physique to look phenomenal, to look just like where this college coach cannot deny this kid. We got to take this kid. And then this film on Huddle, it's going to all come together. If all that comes together, those are the high school guys that are picking, the 10 to 12 high school guys they're picking, because they meet all the requirements, and they're saying, man, this kid might can play. He might could play as a freshman. He might could help us a lot on special teams, and might could be, he could be second tier. So if he's second tier, then hey, we're going to get him a scholarship because we feel like he has a lot, and they're going to go talk to your coach. But if you're the little guy and you need a lot of development, you might have a lot of heart, they're going to pass on you. And we just, like I said today, we're just giving out some more knowledge. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, contact me at Coach Clark 23 on Twitter, or Athletic Trust 1. That's the number 1, Athletic Trust 1. And you got any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to reach out. I was looking at something on live. Okay, so that's pretty much what I have for you today. I hope I've answered any questions about the training, about the players sticking together, and the business part of it. So please reach out. I hope this was very helpful. And again, we're just giving real, authentic recruiting experiences. Um, hopefully we'll be done. Hopefully everybody's safe out there, and we'll get back to the broadcasting center and get a couple of parents on, and you get to hear from their point of view and their recruiting experiences. So thanks for your time. Have a good day. Peace and blessings.